Have you ever felt like giving up on your salon business totally? Well, we sure have. And today we're going to share some of those moments with you and reveal what got us through. We're excited to have you join us on today's episode, The Journey to Success.
Yeah. And so we just thought it'd be really cool if took the opportunity to share our journey and what got us to where we are today. But the most important part is that you can take some of the lessons that we've learned and implement them into your salon so that you don't have to have the challenges that we have once faced. So we're so excited to dive in and share some of that with you today.
Yeah. I'm Lindsay Lowe. I own Platinum and Company Beauty Bar in Manhattan, Kansas. I got into the beauty industry at the ripe age of 19. I actually was going in to get my nails done at the salon that I eventually ended up purchasing from the owner. But I was going in to get my nails done, and the girl was like, "Are you still looking for another job?" And I was taking a few classes at, a local college at the time, and didn't really know what I wanted to do with life. And I said, "Yeah, I actually am." And she was like, "Well, we're hiring for a receptionist right now. You would be the perfect person for it." And so I literally met with the owner that afternoon, and she hired me that day. And um, the rest was history, because as soon as I started working inside of the salon, I fell in love. I was like, okay, these are my people. I love what happens inside of the salon. Women come here, and men too, and leave feeling like a better version of themselves. And I thought, okay, this is the industry that I need to be a part of.
Yeah, I love that story. Such a beautiful story. And my story is my grandmother actually owned the salon company before me. And, I grew up in the salon, first grandchild for her. So we had a really close relationship. And I would get off the bus, I'd sweep hair. I just thought I was the coolest kid ever. Right. And the clients are like, man, I would, fold towels, do whatever. And so I just loved being in that space. Well, when my high school years came around, I thought I had to go to college because, nobody in our family had been to college. So I thought I could be the first one to get into college. Well, what is I did a little more playing in high school than probably I should have. So when the college applications came in, not accepted, not accepted. And, in that moment, I was like, oh man, feeling very defeated. But, I think one thing that kept coming back to me was the experiences that I had getting off the bus at my grandmother's salon and how everyone there was just so happy to be there. They walked in one way and walked out feeling another way. And I was like, man, I always said I kind of wanted to do hair. Maybe this is something that I should explore more. About the age of 19 or 20, I went to hair school. So I went to school. I worked with my grandmother's salon during the day. I went to school at night. And about a month before I finished school, her health had really started to decline. Actually, the business had pretty much died out. So if you imagine back in the early 2000s, like she still was doing a lot of roller sets and perms. I mean, she had duck wallpaper, peach stations, toning tables. If you've never seen a toning table, I think they still make them. Check it out. It's passive exercise. It does exercising for you. So she's like, either we're gonna have to sell the business or you're gonna have to buy it from me. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure about this, but I jumped in and we had one employee at the time. I think she quit the day she found out I took over. So that's even better, right? And no money, at the time, no banks would ever give me money because I didn't really have any credit. I was 19 years old. And so it's just been a really incredible journey to look at where we started to where we're currently at and what we're going to create for the beauty industry.
Yeah. Jen, I love your origin story. And, I also think that it's amazing that, your grandmother was, part of your inspiration that really influenced you to join the beauty industry. Because I think, we've all had somebody that kind of influenced us. And, whether it was somebody that you grew up seeing or, you were like, hey, this is just something I'm interested in. Because, you know, for me, when I was in high school, I loved doing butterfly clip updos. I don't know if anybody remembers butterfly clip updos, but I was the queen of giving myself a butterfly clip updo. And all my friends were like, how do you do that? You know? And so, you know, and it still didn't even occur to me at that time, you know, that maybe I should do hair. You know, and I was a high school dropout and really was confused about like, okay, what is going to be my path in life? You know, and I think probably a lot of salon owners can relate to maybe why you got in the industry isn't why you've stayed in the industry, you know, and that's definitely been true for me because, you know, if you would have told, you know, 18-year-old dropout, high school dropout Lindsay Lowe that, you know, she would be sitting here today, she'd probably say, yeah, right. You know, because very similarly to you, Jen, you know, in the business that you purchased, when I first purchased, it was called Crimper's Hair Studio at the time. From the previous owner, I had a business partner, and you know, when we took over the salon, I was the youngest person in the salon, and one of the girls was her husband was military, so they were moving. Another one was going to have a baby. One of them we fired, and then two others quit. And, you know, it was like from 5 to 0 overnight. And I had just found out that I was pregnant with my oldest. She's about to turn 15 years old, which is super exciting, you know, and really thought, what the heck did I sign up for? You know, I'm about to have a baby. I'm getting no paychecks. And, you know, at the time, the partner that I was with at the time, we aren't any longer. And I, you know, wish her well. She's gone on to do great things, as have I. You know, just having that struggle of, you know, them wanting to give up all the time and, you know, you being like, no, we can do this, you know, and, you know, I think that every salon owner has had some sort of like a challenge that's really tested them, and really given them some grit, maybe. Jen, what's a challenge that you have faced and what did you learn from it?
Yeah, I think just like I mentioned earlier, starting out, there was no money, like
Yeah.
zero. I had to beg the SBA to give me $5,000. And that was after almost I cried, I think, in the bank office. Came up with a business plan on Google. Just somebody, we got to get this peach wallpaper off. We've got to get this duck wallpaper off. And so, I think I'm really grateful for that experience though, because it really taught me a lot about creating value for clients. It really taught me a lot about, income and finances and understanding of profit and loss. And so, like, I think it's one of the greatest gifts that I was given is to start with nothing and to be able to create what we have now. I think, as challenges with salon owners, I think sometimes we have such a servant heart and we want to serve and give so much to our team. And then a lot of times we don't even realize the impact that certain people have on our team that can kind of drag us down. And so I think Lindsay and I have both experienced, we've had walkouts, we've released people, we've had, people leave. And I think to me, that's not even a challenge. That was the greatest gift that we could ever receive. And I learned so much from it is that, having the right people on your team that are loyal, there's a big difference between loyal and disloyal. Just really helps set your company up for success. And I feel like when you start to understand who people are, my challenge before is I just didn't understand people. I just wanted everybody to do good and be good and have good, right? And so when you really can come from the place of understanding who people are, and then understanding, hey, are they the right fit for our culture or company or not, gives you so much freedom as a salon owner. So that's the way I like to view it through that lens. Is just meeting people where they're at and deciding if the journey is going to match up for what you're creating in your companies.
I love that, Jen, you know, and just recently, if you're an NBA fan at all, they just made a huge trade with the Dallas Mavericks and the LA Lakers with Luca and AD. And, you know, it's kind of rocked the whole basketball world if you're a fan, you know. And I think what's so interesting, Jen and I have some friends in the NBA and was recently talking with one of them. And I was like, wow, that was, you know, did you see that coming? Or, and they're like, hey, it's a business, just like your business is a business, and this is truly what's best for their future. And, I just think, man, that's such a beautiful perspective. And I remember, Jen, the first time that walkout happened for me, purchasing the salon, 24 years old, newly pregnant, nobody knew, thinking, man, this is the end of the world. Like, how am I going to, I'm not even getting a paycheck. Like, what is going to happen, but it truly was the best thing for everybody's future. Like, it can feel shocking to the outside world, and it can even be a little bit of a shock to you at first. But just knowing, like, hey, when you are the GM of the team, your salon team, you do always have to be thinking about that future, and knowing, hey, everything is happening for your highest good. And I love what you said, Jen, about understanding who people are, because that was something that I also struggled with in the beginning, was just because I remember during that first initial time that I released one person on the team and then two others quit. There was just so much turbulence, and I remember feeling like, wow, I'm the youngest person on the team, and I felt like the most level-headed about everything. And not to judge anybody at any point in their journey, but also realizing, hey, that's not, that that was a sign that was we were not supposed to be together, and I still probably would have done anything for them and bent over backwards. And now I realize, hey, we do have to think about like this place like a sacred temple, and we do have to make sure that there's only clean feet coming in this space. And so, like Jen mentioned, knowing the difference between loyalty and disloyalty can really just help you create the incredible environment, because who know, I don't even remember why I got in it, to be honest, because now it is just so much more of a almost like a spiritual journey. It's like, how can we help people who want to be here create incredible lives? Like, how can we help them reach their goals? I was really excited because just this week we got to sign up 4 more people to become millionaires on our team. And through our company matched simple IRA, showing them how to create that. Like, back then, I couldn't even think beyond, hey, I'm not going to get a paycheck, and there's all this wild stuff happening. But then to be to this place today where it's like, hey, we're truly getting to create millionaires on our team. Who knew that was right around the corner?
This is so beautiful, Lindsay. I love that. Just one of the greatest opportunities is to be able to give someone new and young in our industry, the gift of understanding, saving and investing. And so, wow, that's about bringing beauty back to the beauty industry. And so,
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, like Lindsay, what's inspired you to become a salon coach or to help other
Yeah.
salon owners?
Yeah, I think, that's such a beautiful question. It's really just knowing, like, hey, if I would have had some of the knowledge that I do now, you know, years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, when I first purchased the salon, I just can't even think how many more people I would have been able to impact. And Jen, truly, you and I share this same belief that we do want to bring that beauty back to the beauty industry, to where people are, you know, when they go to their parents and say, hey, I want to, be a hairstylist or an esthetician or whatever it might be, they're like, yes, go do that. That's going to be an incredible life for you. Truly making it a beautiful place, like where, this isn't somewhere where people come to gossip. This is somewhere where people come to become transformed, and, to become a bigger, better, more beautiful version of themselves in the world. And, so there's just, we know, like, just, I mean, Jen, I think you and I have spent at least $1 million on educating
Each,
ourselves.
I'm
And
sure.
yes, yes. And, trying to become the best version of ourselves. And so, it feels like the most ethical thing to do, to give that back to our industry, to help other salon owners, create millionaires on their team, bring the beauty back to the beauty industry, have that huge positive impact, inside of our industry and truly our world at large. Because, I believe that we are like the honeybees of the earth. People come in, they think that they're just getting their hair done, but like we're pollinating the world, and we can pollinate it with poison or we can pollinate it with goodness. And so I want to do my part to try to pollinate the world with goodness, because honeybees don't go out thinking, that they are pollinating the world. No, they just think that they're making honey. Our teammates do that every day. They think that they're just going out doing hair sometimes. No, they're pollinating the world. And so, getting the opportunity to help people become bigger versions of themselves so that they can then help the people who sit in their chair become bigger versions of themselves. I would say that's really one of the main drivers that influenced me, to become a coach and really join this industry. What about you, Jen?
Yeah, I would say ditto. You said it so well. And, I love the analogy of what you just said. And, it's really, everybody has a gift to give this world. I truly believe that. And sometimes you just have to have that person that sees the gift in you more than you see it in yourself. And so to be able to create that environment for someone to thrive, to create the salon of their dreams, like that's what ignites my fuel and what keeps me learning. It keeps me moving forward. It keeps me inspired as, that, people did it for me and I want to do it in return as well.
I love that, Jen. What would you say, like, you just have such a wonderful outlook on life. What is something that you do? Like, how do you stay motivated when things aren't always going your way?
So, yeah. You mean things don't always go my way? Darn. I think one thing that keeps me motivated is just I like to play an infinite game. I like to play the big game. Like I want to, um, continue to play this game of life and do great things. And so I have to always remember my why. Why do I do this? And what is the contribution that I want to make in this world? Because I feel like I've had a lot of growth, and after growth comes that contribution. So I always look at, begin with the end in mind is looking forward, looking through the lens of 10, 15, 20, 25, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years. Like, what does it look like even when I leave this earth? And thinking about that big picture helps me focus on what I need to do today. It's like that be, do, have, right? Who do I need to be today to create what I want to still make possible when I leave this earth? And so that is just a belief that I keep with me is, thinking about the bigger picture, thinking about all the transformations that I get the opportunity to create. And, I'm a big believer too in not being a victim of your circumstances. There's two sides to everything. There's two sides to bread. There's two sides to a coin. Is I think one of my gifts too is to you don't always have to. Not every situation has to be positive, but if you look at the every situation that you put in through a place of faith and a place of love, it's going to keep you more excited. If you approach everything from a place of fear or a place of worry, that's going to keep you more anxious. And so just looking at your perspective and the way you're approaching things, I think really helps me stay grounded even when something doesn't go quite as I had planned.
Oh, that's incredible, Jen. I feel like that one mindset shift can change everything for you. So
Mhm.
if you are listening to this right now, Jen, that was a powerful nugget that you just dropped when you said everything that happens to you in life, there's a positive and a negative to it. And
Yeah.
sure, not everything feels positive, but there is always something positive in everything. And so when you focus on that, that keeps you, having that faith, that love, that belief in something bigger versus the opposite. If you just dwell on everything negative, like, if you did have a walkout, like,
Mhm.
of course that doesn't feel like, oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like people have sent us messages before of like other salon coaches, have said, if your salon coach is saying it's the best thing, and we're like, thank you for sharing that. It's because we do realize there's two sides to every fact in life. And when you dwell on that negative and you're like, oh, I spent all this time and money and I did all this stuff, and that's a that's about you. That's a victim. That keeps you stuck, that keeps you fearful, that keeps you in that small place. But when you can, see, hey, this has just opened up the opportunity for my dream team. And
Mm.
there are people out there that are looking for your help right now. And, if you feel like the market that you're in is flooded right now, it's not. It's not. There is a need for you. If you feel called to be a difference maker in the world, to contribute in some way, there knowing that there's that positive and that negative to everything, and just paying attention when your brain starts to get fixated on the negative. That one mindset shift can change everything for you.
That's beautiful. So let's do a question like what I wish I knew when I started. So if you think about that, Lens, like you just mentioned, the money that we've invested in ourselves. So, like, what has been the best investment that you've made in your business?
Oh, hands down, just developing personally as a salon owner, and I think that I've taken, and you've taken it too, just about everything, that's possible. And, I'm not saying, hey, you need to take everything that's possible if you're listening to this. Jen and I have actually done that hard work for you. And so if you got questions, we'll answer them. No, I'm just kidding. But just investing in yourself, and really taking time to work on the business instead of in the business, because I spent years hustling hard, to try to make things happen. And I wish I would have known, hey, you can relax a little bit and just work on, building relationships with the right people that want to be there. Find some loyal people, release the disloyal people so that they can find what it is that they are looking for, and just continue investing in yourself and developing yourself so that you can be the best version for your team, because that's truly the best gift, that we can give our teams, and even when we hear some salon owners say, we're getting ready to head out to Cancun for our fun, social, some salon owners are like, I feel guilty leaving my team. Guilt is one of the lowest emotions. Like, you should feel incredible that you get to come. This is such a gift you're giving to yourself and your team. When you pour into your cup, that gives you the ability to pour into theirs, and I think, when you spend that time to invest in yourselves, that the transfer that gives to your team, the transfer that gives to your clients, like, it's almost like you become like a drug. And people don't know why they enjoy being around you, but they just leave feeling so much better, and I haven't done hair for years, and and there's still people who enjoy that feeling, and it's no longer, buckle up, I'm worried, I need you to here to do my hair for the rest of eternity, no, but they still, like, when you work on yourselves, it's still a gift to everyone around you. So I would say that would be the one, thing that I would, wish I would have known from the beginning.
Yeah, me too. You said that so beautiful. It's so true. Like the best investment you can make in your business is working on yourself. I love
Mhm.
that. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I just wanted to give you some backstory of who the heck are Jen and Lindsay. And so that just gives you a little insight. Like we've been where you're at. And, our greatest gift for you is to make your salon run more efficiently by taking what we've learned and being able to teach you those lessons too, so that you can grow and scale as you desire. So if you love this podcast, be sure to share it, leave us a review, or maybe just tell us what you're looking for us to cover next. So in the meantime, in between time, we'll see you soon.